Welcome back to another episode of the Young Guides podcast. I'm Keaton, and
I am Kyle.
what's going on, Kyle? How you doing?
Doing good.
Good.
Just hanging out this week. It's week after Christmas. Kind
Yep.
of that weird little time between Christmas and New Year's. Just hanging out at home and
Dude, lately I feel like Christmas never happened. You know what I mean? Like I've been waiting for it all week, and then I like some of the mornings I've been getting up and I'm like, "Oh, I wonder when Christmas is going to be." And then I realized it was like last week.
yeah, it's been kind of a weird winter time this
Yeah.
year.
Yeah. We we've been getting, I think it's the snow. We've been getting a lot of snow here in Washington State. And I'm not used to it this early in December. Usually it comes like January, February. So this is like a first in a while for us. And we got quite a bit of snow. And so I'm like, snow, you kind of pair it with Christmas and you're like, it's got Christmas is almost here. And then you're like, wait, my mind, I've been out of work for like 2 weeks because on a little break. And so I'm just like, I don't know where I'm at. I don't even know what day it is.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Yeah.
It's been kind of weird, especially for you guys having such cold weather with a lot of snow. Um, I took my rod to FedEx yesterday to get shipped back to Reddington, and they're like, "Oh, this is going to Washington." And I was like, "Yeah, it's going to Washington." And he's like, "Well, do you want to wait and send it off like next week?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Well, they're kind of having the big snow right now, and
Yeah.
like everything's backed up, and like you want to wait, and that way you're not waiting for it to get it back." I'm like, "I'm not going to need this rod for like several months. I think I'm okay. I'll go
Yeah.
ahead. I don't care if it's stuck in transit for a while as long as it gets there."
Yeah. You know what? What's crazy got me thinking is that I saw like the other day, I forget, I want to say it was like Southeast Alaska or Southwest Alaska had like a 60-degree day or something. It was like
Yeah,
one of the warmest days they've had in a long time. And we're down here and like it's pretty cold weather for December, for us.
yeah, that's what I heard too. I'm looking it up. My dad, I think, said something about that.
I want to say it was like in the Kenai area.
Um, Kodiak Island hit 60.
Kodiak Island, yes.
Yeah, holy crap. Kodiak reached 67 degrees,
Yeah.
warmer than it was in Southern California. Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Dude, that is freaking warm.
Yeah. And I'm like, and we're down here, I'm on the outskirts of Seattle, and it's like the other day we had a 22-degree day. And I'm like, a little cold.
Yeah, that is cold. That's colder than it is here.
How's the weather been up there? I know you guys had a lot of snow for a while.
Yeah, we had snow and cold, and then it got really warm and it thawed, and then we had a south wind that was really warm and it thawed, and then it's all froze again and it's all super icy.
Yeah. Probably nice to not have to drive in that.
Uh yeah, it's not very fun to drive in because you still got, even though I'm not going to work, I'm still running errands and doing whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good.
It kind of
So,
sucks that way.
we're kind of coming to the end of the year 2021. How has you've almost been up there a full year? How has your experience been for you in Alaska?
It's been good.
Good.
People are nice that I've been able to meet, and um the community I've built with people, similarly minded people, has been really great. It's hard to not know people when there is not that many people in the state.
Yeah.
It's made a lot of cool connections. Um, this is one of the coldest, snowiest winters, like at this point in the season up here, that they've had in a while. So it's kind of good for me and Emily to be like, first winter here is one of the roughest winters they've had in a while. So I guess that's good.
Yeah.
Good, good way to like be like, oh, okay, if we can get through this winter, we could probably get through future winters. But no, it's all been good. We've been enjoying it up here, and I'm just excited for guide season. I'm ready for this winter to be over, but we still got like 3 months of it. So
Yeah. When do you guys officially like kick off guiding up there?
um I was looking through my photos from last year, and the first wade trip I ran last year was like May 15th, but that was a wade trip. And the outfitter I'll be working for this year, we don't do wade trips. And that was when all the trout were like at the bottom of the river,
Yeah.
the mouth. So my guess is it won't be till end of May, maybe early June before we start doing some float trips.
Yeah.
Those trout got to start working their way back up the river before we can really start targeting them.
You got a little ways to go. What a short season.
I know. I didn't realize how short it was until this winter. I'm like, yeah, that's short. It's May through like October.
May through October. Crazy.
It's not very much time.
Yeah. And those like where you're kind of fishing's like a tributary to a bigger river, right?
Yep.
So how's it like, have you been up there since? Is that big river frozen at all or anything?
I'm sure it is, but I haven't been up there since I've been early October or late September.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sure it's pretty frozen. I know that people like fish. I think they fish for burbot under the ice.
Oh, I heard that's good. Freshwater lingcod, right?
Yeah, I heard it's pretty good, and I know they have some up in that area. I think people fish for them in the wintertime.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'd be sketch getting out on that big river because if you went through the ice on the river, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah, because you go under and it's still moving.
Yeah,
So
good luck trying to find a hole out. You're just gonna
yeah.
you're dead.
No, no, not for me. Think so.
I really want to get into ice fishing on some of the lakes here in Anchorage, but I don't have any gear and I don't know where to go, or I need to find somebody to go with.
Yeah, to figure it out.
Yeah, so I can just get started and know what I need to go buy. Um, but I'd really want to get started because like they stock the lakes here with like char and like Chinook, little Chinook salmon and trout, and there's some lakes in Anchorage that have pike. So it'd be really fun to try to like get to know some places, go out with somebody who knows kind of what they're doing, and go figure it out so that when I got weekends and stuff for time off where I'm not working, I can go
Yeah.
fit.
Yeah, those guys they get those like they got the water shakers and you gotta know how to cut holes and like I mean I've seen like a bunch of different people do it different ways. I've seen guys take like chainsaws and do like giant squares in the ice. And then I've also, you see that your everyday like what is that, an auger or like
Yeah.
the big augers and they just drill a hole right to it. But knowing like when to go out on the ice and stuff, that's something that's over my head. I wouldn't know about how to do that or what to do.
Yeah.
I don't blame you for trying to go out with someone. Are you going to do some ice fishing soon?
Yeah, we've got a trip booked in March, but I'd like to go out before then, just in town, so I can know what to do. So like on days I'm not working and
Yeah.
weekends or something, I can go out and kind of play around. I don't think you're going to get a lot of like big trophy fish in the stocked lakes in Anchorage. It would be a fun thing to just go do sit on the ice, catch some fish to the ice, and throw it back.
Yeah. Are those lakes like around Anchorage? Like can you drive? Is it like how in like when you're going past Ellensburg, there's like the freeway and then you can see like to the right there's a lot of little lakes and stuff. Is that kind of how it is up there? Or is it like you got to drive up somewhere to see?
Oh no, they're like in neighborhoods. Like there are whole neighborhoods around lakes that are accessible via ponds or
Cool.
past some of the major roads. You could drive up like into the valley and fish a lot of those little lakes in the valley, or like along the highway there, in some of those areas like Chugiak kind of areas that are kind of off of the like some of those smaller towns between Anchorage and the valley. And then there's a shit ton of lakes in the valley that you can ice fish for pike or trout or char or whatever.
Kyle, you just got to get your ice skates on and a chainsaw and go all the way across the lake and come back and make a giant channel in it so you can fly fish in the lake.
There you go. Oh, I never thought of that.
Winter fly fishing. It's a whole new sport.
Yeah,
And
if I need to
crap
get
high rise.
yeah, I get like a private lake and get one of those ice eaters they use for duck hunting, and then just leave it open year round.
Yep, that's awesome.
That would be sick.
So, what's kind of on your agenda for 2022? Are you going to do any hunting up there, or are you
Yeah,
going to be able to be like a resident up there this coming year?
yeah, I should be a resident in May, I believe. Um, I didn't put in for any special tags because
Nice.
I had to put in, if I did apply, I would have had to pay for a non-resident tag, which was really expensive, plus my application fees. So
Yeah.
no special hunts for me this year. If I, depending on how much time I get to hunt, I don't know what that's going to look like. That'll allow me
Mhm.
more opportunity, I guess, to see like the side of like you're not like going on these special hunts. I mean, there's a lot of hunts you can do in Alaska without a special tag. You can just
Yeah.
go. So I'm gonna kind of see that side. Might do a fly out spring bear hunt. I don't know if that's for sure gonna happen or not, but I really want to hunt spring bear, and I can in areas around Anchorage. You just got to drive just a little ways that I should be able to do from the road system. That would be kind of fun to do. Um, and then probably gonna do a moose hunt in September. And I really want to figure out how I can do a caribou hunt with Emily sometime this fall or like August time. I really want to go do that, but I don't know how that's going to work out with guide season. I don't know where to go for that either. I'd have to do a lot of research and
Yeah.
try to find some place on the road system because I really don't want to. I don't want to fly if I don't have to.
So, from my understanding, is there's a couple variations of caribou. There's like a mountain caribou, there's a migrational caribou, and then there's another one. I don't know the name of it. It- there's like three of them, right? Two or three of them.
I'm not 100% sure. I know that there are mountain caribou, and then there are like there's like a barren ground caribou or something, and then none of the mountain caribou are up high, obviously mountains. Um, and we do have a few around, but they're really hard to hunt because they just go up and down, up and down, up and down, and chasing them around. And then yeah, the ones that migrate you have are more like out in the there's a bunch up around like off the Hall Road there between Fairbanks and what is that town way up there? Prudhoe Bay.
Mm-hmm.
That's where a lot of people go. They want like a DIY hunt because you can hunt along that road once you get over into the tundra. And there's like I can't remember, it's a 3 or 5 mile. I think it's a 5 mile buffer on either side of the road. It's considered the bow only zone. And then once you get past that buffer, you can hunt with a rifle. That would be fun, but that would be like if you were to just like say, hey, I'm gonna go hunt up on the Hall Road, that's like just to get to Fairbanks would be an all day thing, maybe a couple day thing from Anchorage. And then if you were to go up there, it would take a couple days just to get there.
Yeah.
And then it's a really rough road. People get a lot of like pop tires, and then there's a lot of people up there, and you got a lot of trucks because that's where that Ice Road Truckers is filmed, is on that
Yeah.
whole road. So it'd be kind of dangerous and a lot of people. I don't know. I'd like to find someplace a little bit closer I could caribou hunt. I kind of have to keep my eye open and kind of see what's available because I'd really like to do that this year. Um, yeah, can't figure it out
That's cool. That's gonna be will be something fun to learn.
for
Um,
sure.
sorry, I was kind of looking at this too. I looked up from Alaska Fish and Games website. Pretty interesting stuff. Um, yeah, they there's a couple different herds. It looks like in Alaska, caribous for treeless tundras and mountains during all season. But there's a Alaska caribou herd, and then there's a North American caribou herd, which looks like it travels from Alaska into Canada. Um, I think when we put this one up, I'll let you guys read it because I don't want to butcher it. But pretty interesting stuff. I would just go. We'll put the link up, and you can just go check it out. Um, but it looks like Kyle was saying, there's barren ground caribou, and then it looks like mountain caribou, and then there's actually, if you look at it around the world, it looks like 7 different species of caribou or subspecies. So pretty cool. Um, Pretty cool to see. And in Washington, caribou aren't really a thing. So you see caribou either, maybe if you're lucky, you'll see them at the zoo or during Christmas time, or or I see them on TV. But they're such cool animals. It's crazy how far they travel, Kyle.
Yeah, they're a highly migratory animal. They're just super cool. They look really like they'd be really fun to hunt them and eat them, and
Yeah.
I don't
There's
know. I'm pretty stoked.
what kind of caribou are in Alaska? The porcupine caribou or Grant's caribou uh, is a subspecies of reindeer or caribou found in Alaska, United States, and Yukon and Northwest Territories, Canada. It resembles the subspecies known as the barren ground caribou, and sometimes included in it. Yeah, so if you look like around the world, it looks like there's 7 like subspecies of caribou, and in Alaska, unless they're like partly domesticated, they're, from what this is telling me, is that they only call them reindeer if they're partly domesticated. So I don't know like the full depth of that, but that's pretty interesting. And if they're wild in the state of Alaska, they're considered caribou, not reindeer. But in other parts of the world, wild caribou are considered reindeer. Is from what it's telling me.
Yeah,
This
like
would be interesting. You could probably go.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not I'm not a biologist or anything, but that's what I'm seeing.
I think that's what they call them in like Norway and stuff, like some of those places in Europe
Yeah.
or northern Asia, like Russia area. I think they call them reindeer up there.
You get it figured out though. Let me know. I want to come do it too. Are you
Yeah.
gonna do you want to try to are you going to try to do it with your bow, or are you going to try to get into the areas where you can hunt with a rifle?
Well, I don't even know if I would go all the way up to the haul road like that, but I would like to. I kind of want to do stuff with my rifle first before I
Yeah.
start doing stuff with my bow. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what this season's going to look like. Um, I'm excited, but I'm also just a little anxious. I don't know. I'm not
Yeah.
so much anxious about like hunting. I don't know where to go is the biggest thing.
Yeah. Figuring out, how to hunt them or where to go to hunt them. And then I've heard there's like some things that you're not supposed to do, and I'm sure you know about it, but like following the caribou herd will like get channeled into like a crevice or like a little like draw. And they said like not to follow them in that, because you'll be following the caribou through, and you're stuck in a pretty much a tunnel, right? And so you if you try to go out the back, that herd's getting followed by like wolves and bears. But they just said you can I don't know the full depth of it, but they said it can be pretty dangerous to do.
I have never heard that before.
Yeah. And I have no experience, but that's what like people have told me, or you like talk about, like, because a lot of people, if they're really into hunting and the outdoors, a lot of people want to go hunt caribou because what a cool experience. You're in like the middle of nowhere, and you get to chase down these giant migrational caribou. So
I mean, it makes sense if you were to follow a herd into like a really narrow canyon or something, then try to turn around and leave, and predators would follow them in because they got to follow the caribou herds. So
yeah,
that would make sense, I guess.
How interesting too is that like wolves, like packs of wolves and like and grizzlies follow the migration. I think that's like fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
So crazy. Like cuz that's a lot of walking. I mean, you talk about working for your food, you're chasing down these animals that are moving across, to their I do you know the premise of why they migrate? Like are they migrating all the time too, or are they just doing their big migration for like when they go to breed?
I honestly don't know. I think some of it probably has to deal with breeding, but some of it's also, I mean, they have really nothing to eat up there in the wintertime, right?
Yeah.
They got to go someplace maybe that's a little easier for them to. I don't know. I don't know what the premise is behind why they migrate. We'd have to do some more research into that.
So a quick answer on Google. Shout out to our main man Google. Why do caribou migrate? Some animals stay in one area their entire lives. This behavior helps large caribou herds spread their grazing over large areas so that the food supply is not used up. Migration to remote calving grounds may also help caribou avoid predators with their calves that are very small.
Gotcha.
Yeah, pretty cool stuff.
Yeah. I'd like to figure that out and hunt caribou. I'd like to do a moose hunt, and then I'd like to hunt spring bear and maybe fall bear if I can find a place where they're eating berries.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do
that's
you,
kind of my that's what I kind of got planned.
can you hunt moose local or do you have to fly out?
Well, you can hunt moose local. There's some like non-motorized areas where you can walk in, which a lot of people don't do, so you could get away from people. But if you do shoot one, you're kind of screwed.
Because you're packing a lot of meat out.
Yeah, I might look more into doing that, but that could suck depending on where we went and how far in we went. But that would
Yeah.
be really fun because I talked to a guy who did that last year who they didn't see hardly any people because they were all on the motorized side.
Yeah.
So that'd be super cool.
A lot of people don't want to work.
Well, up here in a lot of places, you just drive up to your moose or get close to it with a boat or something and just throw it in. Whereas back home, we're used to packing out deer and elk a long ways, but up here, it's you usually can get pretty close to it by driving.
Well, the crazy thing about like around here too is that unless there's so many people down in Washington State, unless you find areas or that are kind of not hunted a lot, or you hike out past where those people are going. I mean, you're gonna see people no matter what. I mean, I've been in areas where I thought I was the only person. Next thing you know, you walk down a trail and you see like a pumpkin patch. So it's just crazy to me. But
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. I'm excited to figure it out. I just need some people to go with that know what they're doing so I can
yeah,
have an idea of what I'm doing.
that's gonna be sweet.
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
Super excited. But I'm just ready for the guide season where we start fishing again.
Yeah. I love fishing. If you let me ask you this. I'm gonna ask you a challenging question right now. If you could only hunt or fish for the rest of your life, what would you do?
Oh, I'd fish probably because you can
Yeah.
do it more often than I could travel. Like, let me go south right now and fly fish in the wintertime when it's winter up here.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and I think there's so much versatility in fishing too, is that like in hunting, it's awesome and there's a lot of great stuff, but there's seasons for it and there's certain things and that you can only do certain times of the year. And so it's like fishing, you can pretty much do year round. You can travel like everywhere around the globe and catch fish and different species and stuff. So,
Yeah, that would definitely be something I would probably do is I would just travel and guide and fish wherever.
yeah. So, this year, what are you most excited about for our podcast?
I mean, we've already got a good lineup of guests. I'm excited though to honestly, kind of document your and I's guide season from start to finish.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be guiding. When are you going to start guiding?
Uh, well, my job right now that I work, I get summertime off. So, I mean, I think I'm going to be guiding like, April is kind of what I'm shooting for because that's when the pass gets like good enough for me to tow my boat over and stuff. And then like once end of May hits, like I have a lot of rivers and places I can go fish, because everything starts to open. Uh, but yeah, I'm excited to kind of see where that takes us and, things that we're going to learn through our season and that we can share with others. And, maybe we can do like little fishing updates or something here and there too. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking, kind of like little journal entry almost, little updates on how the fishing is and what we're doing and what we're seeing. I'm
Yeah.
excited to document that. But like I said, I am excited to bring on some good guests. You and I have talked about getting more like conservation stuff, maybe getting more biologists. I know we've kind of been working on that with people and
Yeah.
talking about uh, fish and wildlife and habitats and stuff for the areas that we like to hang out in and that you guys I'm sure are interested in. So we're working on getting some of that. But um, like I said, we got great guests coming on. We got Jared Larson, right? Jared Larson, that's his name. Coming on later this week. You guys are going to hear from. He's super cool dude. He's hunted and fished all over the place. He's a marketing guy, marketing specialist for Onyx Maps. So it'll be super cool to talk to Jared, get to know him,
Yeah.
what he does, hunting and fishing, just kind of hear about his background, learn more about Jared. So we're super cool for that one. We got more guides. We got um,
I got a few biologists I got on the
mhm,
that I'm looking to line up, and it's not just like your everyday stuff. It's I want to get some unique people on too. So
for sure.
yeah, some certain species and I think I got a couple people too if that we are going to be talking about some tropical, like, I got some people down in the south end of the United States that might hop on here and talk to us about something a little different than your everyday, what me and Kyle mostly fish trout. So it's going to be nice to hear about what kind of fishing's going on down there. I've never done anything like that. Have you, Kyle?
No, I haven't.
It's
Uh,
definitely something I want to do, but
yeah, for sure. No, I'm really looking forward to talking to people from down there and kind of broadening our our guests
yeah.
from different places. What are you most looking forward to in the guide or in the for the podcast this next year?
I'm looking forward to. I think we're going to bring some exciting stuff. I don't want to, let it all out right now, but I think that we're going to grow our website a little bit. I think we're going to have some pretty interesting guests. Like you said, I'm really excited to kind of talk about how my fishing is going. Talk about things that I wish I could do better, things that that work good for me. So hopefully that if you're listening or if you're going to plan on going to fish in Alaska or you're fishing in the Yakima Basin or around the Pacific Northwest or Washington, we can help benefit your fishing a little bit. I'm really excited to share about that. And then this upcoming year, I'm really hoping to kind of get more into hunting. I'm looking to try to get a turkey this year because I've grown up hunting, but now I'm trying to expand my hunting a little bit. Most of my hunting I've done is like deer hunting at a family camp. So I want to try to get more into maybe a little more backpack hunting or something, just something different. I want to try to expand myself and make myself a better outdoorsman and so an all around better outdoorsman, hunter, and fisherman. So
Yeah, dude, that's awesome.
I
Um,
kind of went off on a little bit about me too, but I think that I'll be able to share those experiences too on the podcast. So that's what I'm looking for is building my experiences to build your guys' experience.
no, for sure. Kind of documenting your whole just learning.
Yeah.
Super cool. So yeah, we're excited to hear about you growing as a hunter and the experiences you're going to have this year. It's going to be super fun.
You know, one thing I just would like to point out, and this is something I observe uh, while we're, recording our podcast, is I think that people get caught up in seeing the everyday Instagram pictures like, oh, so and so went out, killed a big buck. So and so did this. Why can't I kill a big buck? Or why can't I do this? But I think what people forget is that we're people, we make mistakes. And I think that it's cool that something on our platform is we can share, like, hey, I went out turkey hunting today, and instead of getting a turkey, I accidentally you know, I accidentally put the decoy the wrong way in the wind, and it fell over and spooked the turkeys, because that's people that are just getting into it, or even experienced people still make those small mistakes. So I hope we can share those moments too, that's what excites me about having this platform and being able to share not just the great success that we have, but also sharing, like, hey man, I forgot this, or I forgot my face paint in the car. I mean, stuff happens, and and we can be like, oh, I forgot my face paint. Now guess what I'm doing is I'm throwing face paint in my backpack every time I go out now. Add it to your backpack. So does that make sense?
Smearing mud on your face and burning logs so you can smear the black soot all over your face.
Using your water bottle to pour on the log and trying to get the charcoal off to put it on your face.
Exactly.
Yeah. Your face will be super clean though after.
Yeah. You look like Arnold Schwarzenegger on Predator.
Oh yeah.
Just close your eyes and you'll just be completely camouflaged.
Oh man, that's awesome. No, it's I think we've all had our challenges through 2021, but I'm excited for this new year and to see what it brings us. Just like, even like outside the podcast, how we can grow as people. Me and Kyle, we've been friends for a long time. So when I see him doing something, or I see one of my friends open a small business, or I see something, get behind that, support that. You only live YOLO. You only live once. Shout out to Lil Wayne. I think he was the one that said it, right? But it's true. You only get one life to live. Life can be short, and if you're not doing what you love, then you're not living. It's plain and simple.
Yup, exactly. I totally agree.
So as we move into 2022, do you got any, like, how do you think, we do a lot of guiding, we do a lot of outdoor activity, but how are you going to support these fisheries, and how are you going to be, what's like your goal to be a better conservationist and an outdoorsman? Does that make sense?
No, that makes sense. I picked up a lot of garbage last year.
Good.
I don't see a lot of garbage up here. So my goal is to keep picking up garbage.
Yeah.
Big thing. Educating other people that I see that might be doing things like really rough fish handling, or fishing with like treble hooks or barb hooks, or not barb hook. You can fish with barb hooks, but like areas where you can't fish treble hooks or multiple hooks, like informing people. I also really feel like I did a poor job of documenting the fishing up here, and so I feel like I want to document more about the fish that I'm seeing, the fishing that I'm experiencing, and sharing that with others. And I think that'll, in some ways, I think that'll help to kind of promote like conservation in the areas that I fish and that I guide. Maybe finding ways to work with um, like Fish and Wildlife, or with biologists, like using my drone footage, like if they want to use that for research or stuff like that. I think I'd like to help document more, especially like the salmon runs, kind of what I'm seeing, and then just like trout behavior, taking notes on that, and more from the educational standpoint, like sharing that with people, writing articles, taking photos, creating content.
That's cool. I really like that you're going to document more, because I think it's important to uh I found that what helped me through my, even if you're not a guide, but if you're a fisherman, um like writing down what you did that day, and writing like type of weather you're having, type of flows that the river was at, and like what I used and what I tried. Like I mean, it might take me like 10 minutes to write all the stuff I, did, but just helping me look back and be like, okay, I fished last year on, for the Mother's Day caddis hatch on the Yakima, and I tried this pattern, and this one didn't work for me for the first half of the day. But when I switched to this, I started catching fish, stuff like that. So I really like that you added that to your arsenal this year, trying to document. So
Yeah, and I've tried it before, but it really,
it's not easy.
it's not easy at all. No, but it's super important.
It
What about
is.
you? What are you going to be doing in those regards next season?
Well, here down in Washington, uh, we have a lot of trash. So I'm gonna keep hammering away. I'm looking at trying to expand maybe on more cleanups this year. Um, and I'd like to, with everything, as long as everything allows us to, I'd like to make some bigger cleanup events, maybe have some people come out, and just be able to talk and hopefully, we've had some rough past years and stuff, so maybe get some local fly shops out and then be able to like do a little shop or something, kind of just in the back of my mind right now as a vision. um, but just my goal is just bigger cleanups, and then I'm really pushing to take some time this year and take some invasive plants away and really start bringing back some of our natural stuff around us, doing some more tree planting and some more natural plants. And I mean, you start doing this stuff on these small creeks that you think are messed up, but that's like nature's filtration system. And when you start planting these stuff back, you'd be surprised what it can do to these creeks and rivers and how much it can help hold water and all that stuff. I'm not any in any biologist platform, but um, I think it's going to be, from what I've learned from TU and from biologists and stuff I've listened to, that's what I've heard. So I'm gonna make a bigger effort going forward to do that, um, and then just working hard to do as much conservation as I can, as it allows me in the time I have.
Mhm.
It's I got a lot. I'm doing a lot of work. I work 2 jobs pretty much, and so as long as I'm not guiding or I'm not doing my other job, I can I can really anchor down and put some time and give back. I think it's a big part, um, to your fishing too. I just think putting in and expecting out, there's like some good karma if you believe in that there. So
Yeah, for sure. No, I agree. And you always do a great job of kind of highlighting your urban fisheries and like how important they are and like cleanups and stuff like that on like keeping those watersheds like clean and as
yeah,
natural as possible for the fish and promoting good fish handling and all that kind of stuff. So I'm excited to see where you take that this year. Kind of on that note, I kind of want to get into that in Anchorage. I'm learning some more about the urban fishery here, so I'd like to get into that and kind of along the
yeah,
same lines, like help pick up trash, promote best practices. And I think a lot of people don't know necessarily about it here in some of the places in Anchorage. So if like getting that word out there, I think could kind of help. So
yeah. I think too is trying to educate people too into like, maybe you don't need to bonk every fish you catch, and that's some hard words coming out of my mouth. And I'm not trying to be offensive. I know people need to survive on this stuff, but I think that we're at a point too, is where we don't if you don't need every resources. Like, I love catching salmon, but I don't need to bonk every salmon I catch, right? Because you have to leave something and hope that it makes it to that stage where it creates more life, so that our salmon runs and stuff grow. And that goes not just for salmon, but for all food fish and a lot of game fish too. We're seeing a lot of effects. So I just want to do my part, and I'm not saying, like I said, that doesn't mean I'm gonna stop bonking fish and stuff, but I may just, my goal is to not like, I don't need, I almost like take what you need instead of like taking just because I can take it, right? So
Yeah.
yeah,
No, I agree. I think that's cool.
I love salmon though. I'll eat salmon. I'll eat a lot of food fish, but like trout and stuff, put them back, and especially if they're wild fish, but not trying to go off a bumpy road here. Just saying, like, if that's what you survive on, then that's what you got to do. But if like, hey, I got this, I got enough food, and yeah, salmon would be nice one night, and I can bonk a couple salmon for me in the wintertime. I pull them out of the freezer and I eat. That's great. But um, if you like really the necessities, did I say that right?
The necessities.
The necessities. So that's my goals 2022. Clean up, fish hard, hunt hard, and just enjoy life. I think that's going to be a big one for me this next year, is just get out and enjoy it as much as I can, soak it in. What about you, Kyle?
Yeah, I think I think we've both covered it pretty well. On those lines, I would like to look at like keeping more, say, pink salmon, like when they're first coming into the river, like at the start of the run, like keeping more of those, so that
Yeah.
I don't feel like I need to keep as many like silvers, because that way I have more salmon in the freezer. Like obviously I'm gonna catch one, like a fresher pink, try it, see what it tastes like. If it tastes okay, try to bonk a bunch of pinks at the beginning. That way I've got more salmon in the freezer, so I'm not so worried about bonking silvers. But I would like to go down to like the Kenai Peninsula and do some more of that. So almost kind of on the flip side, I want to do some more subsistence stuff up here. I'm not on the subsistence. Like I don't carry I'm not considered subsistence living, but I would like to do more like catching pinks maybe. I want to obviously catch silvers, sockeyes, like go down to the peninsula and try to catch some of those. Just do more Alaskan things, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. Berry picking, collecting fireweed, making fireweed jelly, more berries. Emily and I picked a lot of berries, go and hunt berries, and try to do more stuff on that side.
So I know you're kind of just getting up into the salmon fishing this year. Little tip with pinks is they're not as great as like a big coho or a big king, but if you're looking to like keep them a little more pinks this year, bleed them and ride onto ice, and it just helps firm up that meat, and it'll cut fine, and they taste good.
Until
To
how
me,
dark?
I usually like we catch them in kind of like brine water down here. So where it still has the tidal flows in the river, so they're still pretty chrome. But like after a certain point, even that's with all salmon for me, is like when they start getting, like when they start getting too dark, I'm like, their lips are getting hooks and they're getting sharp, and their teeth are, you don't want to be keeping when their teeth are showing and stuff, of course. And when they're humps, like if they have a little bit of a hump going and it's still pretty chrome, I'll keep them. But like after they start getting the big humps on them, that's when I'm like, at this point, you're better off going to spawn. So make that journey, bring me more fish for the future.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna only bonk them if they're like fairly fresh, and yeah,
Yeah.
obviously bleed them. I probably like honestly, what I like to do is like to bleed them, clean them, put them in the cooler cleaned
Yeah.
as fast as possible.
I think when you cut them right away, it's mostly it's when you cut them right away, it's most ethical to do it. They bleed out right away. You're getting the blood out of them. Like you said, clean them, and then, like I said, just make sure you have a cooler nearby and put them on ice right away. Firms right up. So
For sure, I'm looking forward to it. It should be fun getting
yeah.
out and exploring.
What do you see a lot of, yes, this is how you do it. No, this isn't how you do it. On fish handling, what is some of the tips that you think you could add to as we're starting to roll into the new year, the new season's coming up, what are some of the tips that you think, oh, I think this is the right way to handle a fish?
What really bothers me is I see a lot of people up here, like when the pinks are running, just like they hook them, they reel them in, they literally like step on them, unhook them, and then kick them back in the river. It's like, wow, that's pretty violent, honestly. And like you see a lot of, like, I've seen pinks like swimming around in circles with no eyeballs, but way before there's like everybody else has spawned out or
Yeah.
deteriorating, or there's like big holes on the side, or they're all beat up. And I just think people need, even though there's a bajillion pinks, there's going to be no issues if a couple pinks get beat up really bad. It's still not super ethical to drag those things up on a beach and beat them up and hold them out of the water for a long time. Like, unhook them, put them back in. If you have to yank on them, smash your barbs. And there's so many pinks, you don't have to worry about freaking
Yeah.
losing them. Like, just smash your barbs if you're gonna be rude to them, and like just be as nice and kind to them as you can. Don't beat up on them. For trout, hold them out of the water for a few seconds and get them back in. And if you're taking multiple photo sessions, hold them up for a few seconds, get a photo, drop them back in the water, let them breathe, hold them up again, and then let them go. Don't force anything. Don't put your fingers in the gills. Don't squeeze them. Hands got to be wet. Take your freaking gloves off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I can really say.
Especially in a catch and release fishery. Like if you're doing catch and release, make sure you get your catch and release nets. Like Kyle says, like get your camera ready, make sure that fish stays wet, and then I've learned, and this is something that I've learned recently, is when you're gentle with fish, it's almost like fish understand that energy that you're giving them. And the most of the time they'll be super calm. You can get a nice photo, get their adipose and their bottom fins hanging out, make them look a little bigger, and then you just put them right back in and they swim off. Compared to like when I first started fly fishing, I didn't, all I knew was like power bait fishing. So this, don't think that me and Kyle are saying this like, oh, this is how to do it, because we've made mistakes too. I personally made mistakes, as I used to, like, you grab them and you just kind of hold them up, and I was like, but once I started getting into more fly fishing and more catch and release stuff, I'm like, oh, I can't be holding them like this, and I got to hold them like this, and and especially going out with like guides or with my friends that have fished, they start teaching in the right way. So hopefully, I hope like this year when we start fishing again, Kyle, maybe we can do a little video kind of show like what we're talking about. And a lot of people, there's a big keep them wet thing, but I think that if you're quick enough, if your camera's ready, you can get them up, especially on a big fish, get your picture and put it right back in the water and let it go. I've seen fish caught over and over again that way. So
Mm-hmm.
just
No,
make, you just got to treat them right.
100%. And if you are gonna keep them, do whatever you want to them. Like if you're gonna keep a silver or a pink, freaking haul his ass up on the bank. But if you're not gonna keep them, take care of them.
Yeah, because that's like, you got to realize that's our future. That's our future of our fisheries. That's our future of your food. That's like our everything. As crazy, and we may come off kind of as like tree huggers or something, but we're just trying to do our part. Especially as a guides, you want to make sure that you're doing the right thing to keep because that's how you make your money. That's how you make your business. If you're killing all your resources, I mean, yeah, you're like, oh, it's just one trout. But if there's, 100 to 500 guides on the river and everyone kills a fish a day, and it starts adding up after time. So
Yeah,
do your part. That's our responsibility, especially when you're in the outdoor field. So
100%. I agree.
being ethical, and that's in fishing and hunting, making sure you're making your right shots and stuff. So
Exactly.
I mean, you make mistakes for people, but you try to do your best, I hope. So
Yeah. There's a really funny reel. Do you follow Shed Crazy on Instagram?
I have not. I'll have to give them a follow.
Here, I want to show you something, and the people on the podcast can hear this. It's pretty funny. It's I'll play it for you. Let me find it.
Okay.
Speaking of ethical shots, I think this is it. Let me see if this is it.
All right. This is my impression of an elk getting shot at 600 yards. Ow! Man, come on. Why'd you do that? Come on. Okay, this is my impression of an elk getting shot at 300 yards. Thank you for being so fair and ethical. Thank you.
See how that's ethical, right? Like knowing your limitations, knowing to treat the resources right.
Yeah.
So that was pretty funny. I saw that.
That is pretty funny. And that falls in line right with what we're talking about. So
Exactly. No, I'm super excited. See what this new year brings. Hopefully get you up here, get you onto some of these fishes in Alaska.
yeah. And maybe we might be hopping on a local friend of ours podcast up there too. So that'd be kind of cool to do that. Hopefully we can make that work. So stay tuned. Maybe later this year.
That would be sweet.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Kyle, I think that's it for today. I hope everyone has a safe and a happy new year. And by the time you're hearing this, welcome 2022. And let's all do our parts. Reach out to us. Let's talk about fishing. Let's talk about hunting. Let's have a great year. And we're going to try to get some really interesting people on for you guys.
For sure. Totally agree. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be another good year. We're getting pretty committed to this thing, so expect great content to follow.
Yeah. I just want to give a big shout out to our partners on our podcast. We're a newer podcast, but Heather's Choice has been a great partner this year.
Mm-hmm.
Given you can save 15% at checkout with the Young Guides 15, and then also you just heard Sophie on our last podcast. It was 2 podcasts ago. No, it'll be 2 or 3 anyways, but shout out to Sophie at Lucky Bug Lures, coming in, giving us a 15% discount for you guys at checkout. Make sure you go and check them out. Show some love. Use our codes, save yourself a little bit. 15%, that could be tax and shipping. That's quite a bit. So that's really cool. And we hope that they grow with us and we grow with them, and we love what we're doing. So me and Kyle meet up every Thursday night, and we just love to talk about hunting and fishing, and we hope that you guys are really liking what you're hearing too. So also, I noticed that on Spotify now you can give us a star rating too. So make sure to check us out on Spotify, and make sure to check us out and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts as well. You can leave us a comment. You can give us a rating. Tell us how we're doing. It doesn't have to always be great feedback. As much as we want that 5-star review, we also take in 2 or 3-star reviews or 1-star reviews. We got to learn, and we got to know how we can improve. And we hope that you guys will help us get there. So we're so thankful for everyone taking the time to listen to this podcast and just listen to us enjoy what we do. So what about anything to add to that, Kyle?
No, I didn't realize that people can now leave us rating on Spotify. That's pretty cool.
Yep, I just saw that the other day. So got to check it out. Leave us a rating. A lot of our listeners, isn't like the majority of our listeners on Spotify? Is Spotify or Apple Podcasts? But
Spotify and Apple are like pretty even, but we have a lot of people that listen on the web browser. I think that's through our website.
Yeah,
assuming. So that really helps us out too, having the website for you guys to listen to. But yeah, we appreciate everybody listening. If you could leave us a rating, leave us a review on either Apple Podcasts or Spotify, that helps us out and gets the name out there. get more listeners. We've got people all over the world now tuning into our podcast, people all over the States. So it's really cool and humbling to see the reach that we've made. And that wouldn't have been possible without you guys, the listeners, because you're sharing stuff, you're talking about stuff, you're leaving us reviews and ratings for other people to find us. So yeah, we really appreciate it. I also want to give a shout out to our friend Matt over at Alaska Rod Co. He's helped us kind of share our name. We've been helping him. I think he's been getting some orders in and getting ready for the season. So yeah, we just want to say a shout out to Matt too, because he's a super awesome dude. Also, real quick shout out to Kylie and Cannon on buying that boat. That's pretty sweet. I'm sure we're going to hear more about that here pretty soon.
That's a sick sled.
But
I just want you guys to know that. Check it out. We put it on our story today, but by the time you hear this, you won't know what day it was that we recorded this, and you just follow us on Instagram and you'll get to see all this cool content we're sharing. I also wanted to just say you can check out you get to listen to our podcast for free on our website, and we have a contact us link on our website that you message us if you hear something on a podcast and you want to know more about it. We'll answer it to the best of our capability. Or if you just want to check out our website, you could also check out everyone, if they're a guide, if they're offering a service, if they're selling something, you can go and check out their profile on who we've had on our podcast. And you can go on trips with them. You can order rods from them. You can learn about like what they do in their job, get their, if they're doing, like we're going to have Jared on from Onyx, that's a service. So all those will be up there. Make sure to check it out. You can learn about me and Kyle a little bit. And then if you just have questions or you want to comment or, you want to tell us what we're doing great or doing bad, go there, contact us and leave us. It goes right to our email. We learn and we see it right away. So make sure to not be shy. We're here for you guys.
for sure.
Yeah. Well, Kyle, I think that it's cold, and I'm gonna go and put on a big jacket and sit in the corner. I'm just kidding. I'm not doing that. I got stuff to do today. But I hope you guys have a great year. Anything else from you, Kyle?
I think that's it.
Awesome. Well, once again, this is another episode of the Young Guides Podcast, and we appreciate you listening. And I'm Keaton, and that is...
I'm Kyle.
Here it is. See you later.
Catch you on the next one.